I suspected my girlfriend was cheating. Turns out she was planning a surprise for me. Or was she? I had been dating Sarah for almost 3 years. We lived together for 2, and yet, for the past month, something had been off. It started with the little things. Late texts she wouldn't explain. New clothes she didn't show me buying. Silent car rides with her phone upside down in her lap. I didn't want to be that guy, paranoid, jealous, controlling. But gut feelings? They don't whisper. They roar. One Friday night, she said she had to stay late at work. I texted her twice around 8 p.m. No reply. At 10:27 she answered. Sorry. It got hectic. Exhausted. I'm just gonna crash early. Love you. But she didn't come home. She showed up the next morning at 9, with a bag of donuts. And this forced, chipper smile like she was trying too hard. I asked where she stayed. She said she fell asleep at her friend Megan's. Thing is, Megan texted me 3 weeks ago, asking if Sarah and I were free to double date this weekend. So either she forgot, or she didn't expect I'd remember. That was the moment I started keeping notes. I'm not proud of it. I made a private folder on my phone. Doubt every time something felt off. I logged it. New perfume. Unfamiliar scent, October 3. Liked an eggs pic at 2. 14 October 7. Refused to let me use her laptop. When mine froze, October 10. Bought lingerie. From a brand she says. She hates October 13. Smiled at phone. Turned it away when I asked October 14. It sounds crazy, but when all those dots start connecting, the picture isn't pretty. And then came the password moment. One evening while she was in the shower, her laptop was on the bed lid open. It went to sleep, but I tapped the spacebar, prompted for a password. I hesitated. I typed her dog's name. Nope. My birthday? Nope. I tried the last 4 digits of her phone. It opened. My heart pounded. I didn't even know what I was looking for. There wasn't anything right there. Just Chrome tabs, but one of them was open to an email draft. Subject line, the plan. I swear my blood turned to ice. I clicked the draft. Inside was a half-finished message. I want this to be perfect. He suspects something, I think, but I'm trying to act normal. I'll need help with timing. Should I go for December 14 or wait till Christmas Eve? I'm not sure if yes. She came out of the bathroom. I snapped the laptop shut and pretended to be scrolling my phone. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like my shirt moved with every beat. She didn't say anything, just crawled into bed, still towel-wrapped, and kissed my shoulder. I love you, she whispered. I didn't sleep at all that night. Was I the world's worst boyfriend? Had I misjudged everything? Or was that email just a decoy? Because here's what didn't make sense. The email draft was dated 3 days ago, but her texts and behavior had been strange for weeks. And what was with the emojis in the subject line? Sarah wasn't the type to use those. I told myself to stop, to breathe. Maybe it really was a surprise. A proposal, a vacation, something thoughtful. But then I noticed something new. A hotel charge on our shared credit card. 2 nights ago, for a room with 1 king bed. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I waited. That Sunday morning, while she was doing laundry downstairs, I pulled out the bank app and took a screenshot of the hotel transaction. October 16th, Hotel Clarion. Room booked at 6:42 p.m. She told me she worked late that night. Came home past 11. She even brought home takeout. Said it was leftovers from a work meeting. I called the hotel. My hands were shaking. Hi, I'm trying to confirm a reservation under the name Sarah Ellis. October 16th. The woman on the line hesitated. I'm sorry. I can't give out guest information. I expected that. I know. I was just there with her. I think I left something in the room. I just don't remember if it was 314 or 316. Pause. Then, room 316 was checked out by a Sarah Ellis. No items reported left behind. Boom. Confirmed. She was there. Alone. Or not. That night, I sat at the kitchen table long after she fell asleep. I stared at her contact photo glowing from my screen. Thumb hovering over the call button for her best friend Megan. If anyone knew the truth, it was her. But I didn't press it. Not yet. Monday morning, I pretended to leave for work as usual. I walked to the bus stop, then circled back through the alley and snuck into the basement entrance of our apartment. I stayed there in the cold, dusty boiler room waiting. At 9:27 a.m., I heard the front door unlock. Footsteps. Hers, but she wasn't alone. A voice. Male. Quiet. Almost laughing. I crept to the foot of the stairs. I couldn't make out words, but I heard them moving upstairs. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. Hope your morning's good, can't wait for tonight. Was this a joke? Was she pretending I wasn't supposed to know she was home? Or was she pretending to me that she was alone? I crept out and took a huge risk. I snapped a photo of her car. It was still in the driveway. Time-stamped, 9:31 a.m. I forwarded it to my work email, along with the hotel screenshot and a copy of the email draft I'd found earlier. I was collecting evidence like I was preparing for trial, but I still didn't know what the crime was. That night, she greeted me like nothing happened. Want to do takeout or should I cook? Takeout's fine. We sat on the couch. She watched The Bachelor. I watched her. Every blink, every fake laugh. She leaned her head on my shoulder and sighed. You've been quiet lately. Something wrong? I wanted to scream. Ask her what the hell happened at Hotel Clarion. Who was the man in the apartment this morning? Why she lied about working late. But instead I said, nah, just tired. She kissed my cheek and said, rest. I've got something special planned soon. Something about her tone made my skin crawl. The next day, I followed her. She left at 6:15 p.m., told me she was going to yoga. She didn't go to yoga. She drove past the gym, turned onto Route 7, and pulled into a strip mall, a quiet corner with a florist, a custom jeweler, and a family-owned bakery. She walked into the jeweler's. I waited in my car, hands clenched, sweat on my back, eyes on the entrance like a sniper. She came out 25 minutes later, holding a small black bag. Not a ring box. Not quite. She drove straight home. When I got back, I asked, how was yoga? She smiled. Good. Exhausting. I nodded. You smell like roses. She blinked. Oh, they had some kind of incense. New instructor. Lie. There was no incense. I followed her scent the moment I stepped into the kitchen, the exact fragrance from the florist 2 doors down from the jeweler. She never even saw the gym. That night after she fell asleep, I tiptoed to her purse, found the bag. Black velvet. Inside, a custom pendant with our initials. And on the back, to my forever December 24, a gift. For me, or a cover. The ring wasn't there. Just this pendant. Suddenly, that email draft played on repeat in my head. Should I go for December 14 or wait till Christmas Eve? She was counting down to something, and I had only one more question. Was it a surprise for me? Or a goodbye? I woke up the next morning with a pit in my stomach. I stared at the ceiling while Sarah showered, her voice softly humming through the wall. She sounded calm, peaceful, as if she wasn't lying to my face every single day. That morning, she left for a hair appointment and kissed me twice at the door. Don't forget we have dinner with my parents Saturday, she said with a little wink. Right, I mumbled. Love you. Love you too. I didn't mean it. I waited exactly 8 minutes after the door closed. I knew her route. Her salon was 20 minutes away. I had time. I opened her laptop again. She'd changed the password. My stomach turned. I tried all the basics. Nothing. Why change the password unless you had something to hide? I moved to her closet, looked through her drawers, then opened the small box where she kept cards and keepsakes. Old birthday notes, a dried flower from our second date. At the bottom, a folded piece of paper, handwriting that wasn't hers. Can't wait till it's just us again. Counting down. Matey. There was no he in her inner circle. No cousins, no co-workers, no girlfriends. Just me. And I sure as hell didn't write that. That afternoon, I finally broke and called Megan. I figured she'd deflect, maybe lie for Sarah. But her reaction threw me off. Wait, what are you talking about? I froze. She said she stayed at your place last week. No, I haven't seen her in over a month. You sure? Positive. She said you guys were going on a road trip or something. She told me not to bug her all weekend. There it was. Double lies. Megan, is there anyone in her life whose name starts with M? Silence. Hello? I mean, not that I know of, she said, but her voice got tight, guarded. Why? Never mind. Is everything okay? I hung up. That night, I waited till Sarah was asleep again and went back to the closet. The drawer with the jewelry box. Gone. The note? Gone too. Either she realized I found it, or she was prepping to destroy every trace. I didn't sleep. Again. I stared at her back, the shape of her shoulders, the rhythm of her breath. What if she's planning to leave? What if she's planning worse? The next morning I got dressed like I was going to work, kissed her goodbye and drove to Hotel Clarion. This time, I didn't ask questions. I told the front desk I was there to see a friend who stayed last week, that she left something behind. I slipped the clerk $20, and she softened. Sarah Ellis, room 316. Yes, she stayed for one night. Checked in with someone. Do you remember who? Not really. Tall. Male, died. Mid-30s maybe. Brown jacket. I showed her a photo of Sarah and me together. Did it look like me? She squinted. No. Oh, he was older. Facial hair, I think. Older. Beard. No one I knew. Thanks, I said. Then asked the question I didn't want to. Did they share the room? She hesitated, then nodded. They checked in together. One room. One key card. I left the hotel with my hands trembling. I drove to a park. Just sat there. Car off. No music. Just the sound of leaves brushing the windshield and the blood pounding in my ears. That night, I asked her directly, "Have you been seeing anyone else?" She laughed, but it cracked a little too sharp. What? No. Where is this coming from? You've been acting weird for weeks. Hotel charges. Changed passwords. Lies. Her face stiffened. You've been spying on me. I've been trying to protect myself. She stood, crossed her arms. Unbelievable. I was planning something special. Something nice. But now? She walked out of the room. The next day, she didn't come home. No texts. No calls. I messaged Megan again. Have you heard from her? Nothing. I messaged her mom. Is Sarah okay? No reply. By midnight, I was pacing. At 1 a.m, I heard a car. Her car. I peeked out the window. She wasn't alone. Someone stepped out with her. Taller. Beard. Brown jacket. They stood by the car for a second. He leaned in. Kissed her cheek. She smiled. He drove off. She came inside. Where were you? I asked, trying to keep my voice from cracking. She blinked, like it was a stupid question. Out? With who? You don't get to ask that anymore. Tell me who he is. You already know. Then say it. She stared at me for a long second. Then, Matt. The name hit me like a punch to the ribs. Matt. I didn't know any Matt. Not in our friend circle. Not at her job. Not in our shared past. At least I didn't think I did. Who's Matt? I asked, trying to keep my voice from shaking. She rolled her eyes as if I was being dramatic. Someone I used to know. We reconnected. And you're what? Dating him now? No, she snapped. But we've been talking. He's been there for me unlike some people. My breath caught in my throat. So I'm not crazy. You have been seeing him. She turned away, rubbed her forehead. It wasn't like that at first. I just needed to talk to someone. Things between us have been tense. Because you were lying to me. Because you were snooping. Obsessing. Watching me like a suspect. You made me a suspect. Silence. Then she muttered, I was going to propose to you. She said it like it hurt to admit. Then what the hell is all this? She hesitated. Her eyes glistened. Matt and I were together once. A long time ago. He was there for me when I went through something rough. After my dad passed. I had never heard this before. He reached out randomly last month. Said he was thinking about me. Asked how I was doing. I didn't respond at first. Then I did. And you checked into a hotel with him? Her silence said everything. I stood there. Numb. She walked to the kitchen. I didn't sleep with him, okay? I didn't answer. I wanted to. I almost did. But I didn't. Oh. Congrats. I muttered. Barely cheating is still cheating. I was confused. And now, she looked me straight in the eye. Now I'm not. Meaning. She took a deep breath. I'm leaving. I didn't stop her. She packed a small overnight bag. Said she'd come back for the rest later. When she walked out, I sat down at the kitchen table and just stared at my hands. I thought about all the little moments over the past 3 years. The inside jokes. The road trips. The stupid arguments over where to order food. The time I got food poisoning and she slept on the bathroom floor with me. Had all of it meant less to her than a text from an old flame? Had I driven her to him by not trusting her? Or had I been right all along and the whole proposal thing was a smokescreen? The next few days were a blur. No texts, no calls. On the third day, I saw Megan's name light up on my phone. You free to talk? I called her immediately. I just heard everything, she said. Sarah finally told me. Told you what? That she's been seeing Matt. That she checked into that hotel. That she lied. I stayed silent. She said she feels like she blew everything up. Like she panicked and spiraled. That doesn't fix it. I know, but she didn't plan to hurt you. She thought proposing would fix the tension, but the guilt started eating her. So she reached out to someone familiar. Someone easy. I felt a strange calmness wash over me. What does she want now? She doesn't even know. That night, I got a text from Sarah. I know I don't deserve this, but can we talk? I didn't reply right away. Instead, I went to the bedroom and opened the drawer again. The pendant was still there. The one with our initials. The one she had made. It was real. So was the ring I found later in a different drawer, tucked in a pair of socks. A simple silver band. No diamond. Just our initials engraved inside. She was planning to propose. But maybe she was also planning to run. I finally texted back. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. My place. Talk. No promises, okay? Thank you. I didn't know if I was ready to forgive. I didn't know if I could, but I knew I needed to understand. She arrived exactly at 6:00 p.m. No makeup. Hoodie tie, hair in a messy bun. She looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. I opened the door without a word and stepped aside. She walked in quietly, holding a small box, the ring box. You found it already, didn't you? She asked without looking up. Yeah. She sat on the couch, hugged the box to her chest and stared at the floor. I don't even know where to start. Try the truth. She nodded, took a deep breath. I didn't plan to cheat on you. I know it sounds hollow, but it's true. When Matt messaged me, I was just in a bad place. You and I were fighting. I felt like we were growing apart. I thought maybe doing something big like proposing would fix it. But the closer I got to that moment, the more I panicked. I started to question everything. So I ran to something safe, familiar. Matt. Yeah, he was part of my life before you. He knew me when I was messed up. He never judged me, and for a moment, I wanted that simplicity again. So you booked a hotel with him? I did. And I kissed him, and I cried. But I didn't sleep with him. Not physically, emotionally. I crossed a line. I know. She looked up, eyes red. I never stopped loving you. I just got scared. I sat down across from her, let her talk. I wanted her to pour it all out. After that night, I told him I couldn't do it. I cut him off, but by then, I'd already broken something between us. I knew you felt it. That's why I changed the password. That's why I got defensive, because I didn't want you to see how ugly it got. She opened the ring box and slid it toward me, a plain silver band. Our initials inside. I was going to ask you on Christmas Eve, at your parents' house. I had this whole speech planned, but I blew it. Silence filled the room. I picked up the ring. It was warm, like it had been in her hands for a long time. So what now? I asked. She gave the softest shrug. You don't owe me anything. I'll go if you want. I won't make a scene. I just wanted to face you. Not ghost you. Not vanish. I wanted to own it. I stood and walked to the kitchen. Not to escape, to think. I poured a glass of water. My hand shook slightly. Then I walked back. You were right, I said. Things between us were off, but instead of working through it, you ran. And you made me feel like I was crazy for suspecting anything. She nodded. Silent. You didn't sleep with him, but you were ready to. That's what breaks me. I know. I looked her in the eyes. This isn't about whether I can forgive you. It's about whether I can ever trust you again. She blinked, bit her lip. Can you? I didn't answer. Not with words. I closed the ring box and slid it back across the table. You can keep this. Maybe one day you'll give it to someone who hasn't already seen the worst of you. She flinched. Not dramatically. Just enough. She nodded, stood up, and whispered, I'm sorry. She left without another word. Update 3 months later, I haven't heard from Sarah since that night. Megan says she moved back to her hometown, deleted social media, went quiet. As for me, I'm okay. I think I went to therapy. I started running, got promoted at work. I see her face sometimes when I drive past that bakery, or when I hear our favorite song at the grocery store. And I think about what could have been. But more importantly, I think about what I didn't become. I didn't become the guy who forgave something unforgivable just because I was scared to be alone. Sometimes, choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's the only way to survive. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.